قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة. صلى الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك المظلومين المعصومين حجج الله على الخلائق أجمعين. يا ليتنا ثم يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. روي عن الإمام الصادق عليه السلام أنه قال: لكل شيء يستريح إليه، وإن المؤمن يستريح على أخيه المؤمن كما يستريح الطير على شكله. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Esteemed scholars, elders, and my dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Having a strong bond with family is a vital step in order to live a happy life, and a strong brotherhood is just as important. A brother is meant to be your backbone, someone you can look to in times of need, and someone who's always there to defend you. These are the traits of a true brother. And these traits and more are easily found in the backbone of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Al-Abbas ibn Ali. Continuing on with our series, the biography of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, tonight we discuss the birth of the backbone of Imam Hussain and the impact that it had on our Imam's life. The hadith just mentioned from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says that everything has something for it to lie on. And a believer has his brother to lie on, just like how a bird lies on its looks. From this we can derive that our Imam is trying to guide us into having a stronger relationship with our brothers, even if they are not blood related. Just like how Rasulullah would lie on Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Ali ibn Abi Talib would lie on his brother, Rasulullah Muhammad. On the minbar, we always hear that Al-Abbas and his brothers were the backbones of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. But my question is this: how did they reach the status of being the backbones of Imam al-Hussain in the Imam's eyes? And I will attempt to answer this question in the following 3 steps. Number 1, by discussing the birth of Al-Abbas alayhi salam. Number 2, by seeing how he was raised as the brother of an Imam. And number 3, how he inherited loyalty and bravery from his father Ali ibn Abi Talib. Al-Abbas alayhi salam was born on the 4th of Sha'ban, in the 26th year after the Hijrah, the day after the birthday of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. He was born to Amir al-Mu'mineen and al-Banin. But we already noticed something that's quite interesting. al-Banin and Amir al-Mu'mineen were married for about 15 years before the birth of Al-Abbas alayhi salam. And we see that this is the case because al-Banin said that the children of Fatima are too important, and she doesn't want any of her attention to be taken away from them to raise children of her own. So we already see how much devotion al-Banin had towards the Ahlul Bayt. Eventually, when Al-Abbas alayhi salam was born, Sayyidah Zainab came to her father informing her of the news that al-Banin has had a baby boy. And she asked her father if he had a name and epithets for the baby, as al-Banin said that she would not dare to name her son before Amir al-Mu'mineen. So Imam Ali came to the house and saw the child and said that this child will be one of the greatest heroes of Islam, and that he would frown in the face of his enemies. So I will call him Al-Abbas, the frowner, and his epithet will be Aba al-Fadl, father of the virtues. Al-Abbas alayhi salam also developed other titles throughout his lifetime, especially during the Battle of Karbala, such as Sab' al-Gantara, or Abu al-Ghira, Abu al-Qirba, Abu Raya, Saqi Atasha Karbala. These are all titles that were given to Al-Abbas alayhi salam. When Al-Abbas alayhi salam was born, Imam Ali held him in his arms and began kissing his hands. And he started weeping vigorously. Al-Baneen noticed this and thought for a second that her child had a fault that she had not noticed. So when she asked Imam Ali why he is crying, this is a happy occasion, you've just had a child, and why he is crying, he replied saying that these hands will be cut off whilst this child will be thirsty by the Euphrates River, and his brother Hussein will be left alone, without family, without supporters, on the hot plains of Karbala. Al-Baneen, upon hearing this, began crying with the others around her. But Imam Ali consoled them because he said to them that this action will be done with the highest amount of iman in Al-Abbas's heart. Al-Abbas alayhi salam was brought up by a woman who devoted her life to the service of the Ahlul Bayt, to the service of the children of Fatima. And her aim was to pass this down onto her children, especially in Al-Abbas. We see that Al-Abbas was brought up in a way unlike any other children. Al-Baneen would tell him that I know Imam al-Hassan and Imam al-Hussain are your brothers. I know you have the same father, but you are not to call them by their first name. You call them Sayyidi wa Mawlai. And if anyone asks you, who is al-Hussain to you? You say, he is my Sayyidi wa Mawlai. He's not my brother, he's Sayyidi wa Mawlai. This shows us the devotion that Al-Baneen had for these individuals, and she knew their status in front of Allah. Even the way Al-Abbas would sit around the Ahlul Bayt was curated by Al-Baneen. Now what do I mean? Back then, it was very common for Arabs to wear a turban on their head. So when Al-Abbas alayhi salam would sit around the Ahlul Bayt, sometimes the level of his turban would be above that of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. And Baneen said, no, this is very disrespectful. That my child's turban is at a higher level than the child of Fatima. So she taught him in a way to sit where his turban would be at a lower level, to show respect. Sometimes Al-Abbas would ask his mother why he is doing this. Like, we've got the same father, he's my half-brother. But she would say to him, no. His mother is Fatima al-Zahra, bintu Muhammad, Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen. She, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. She's not no ordinary person. And this is not no ordinary child. So you have to show respect. Now, being born to Imam Ali alayhi salam, the uplifter of the gate of Khaybar, Al-Abbas alayhi salam developed signs of courage and bravery from a very young age. We would see that wherever Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam was, Al-Abbas was. Just like how wherever Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam was, Imam Ali was. It's the same type of loyalty. Wherever Imam al-Hussain was, you would always notice that Al-Abbas was one step behind him. Now, he wasn't in front of him, looking around to guard him, and he wasn't beside him, looking around to guard him. No, he was one step behind. And this is very important, because Baneen actually taught him this. Because Imam al-Hussain is the leader. You do not walk in front of the leader. So you have to be one step behind. And we would see that his loyalty was shown throughout his life, and especially during the Battle of Karbala, when he was thirsty and he was by the river and he held the water in his hands, and he would say, Ya nafsu min ba'd al-Husayni huni. How can I drink water when my brother, Sayyidi wa Mawlai, the Imam of my time, is thirsty, to the point that his lips were cracking? This type of devotion and loyalty explains to us why when Al-Abbas alayhi salam died, Imam al-Hussain would say, Al-an inkasara dhahri. Now my back has been broken. Because Al-Abbas alayhi salam was the literal backbone of Imam al-Hussain. Al-Abbas's life is something to admire, and it's one small lecture does not give it anywhere near the amount of justice it deserves. He's a true servant of the Ahlul Bayt, and especially Imam al-Hussain.